So my name is Dave Ashheim. I founded this company, Guide by Sell, which is a division of Engage by Sell. And Fred de Guzman and I have been working together for a long, long time. Fred runs our client services team, and Anna Busby and I have been working together for a while too. And she's our project leader and manager here. And should we have the pleasure of working with you, you'll know both of these folks. We are recording this so we can send it to you afterwards. Hello, Allison from Ames, Iowa. Guide by Sell was started 14, 15 years ago to help institutions that had visitors better engage with their audience. So we started off with cell phone audio tours, moved into mobile smartphone tours. Fred, some of the other services now that you train people on range from what?
Text messaging to fundraising, text to donate services, GPS mappers, a lot of different mobile services. A lot of
services. And so if you're looking for something that's on the interpretation engagement side, we're not going to be talking about that today, but just ping us in the chat window and just say, hey, Dave, I'd love to know about mobile tours or scavenger hunts or things like that. But what we have decided to talk about today is our approach to digital membership cards. And this came about because, what do you think, Fred? 18 months ago, 2 years ago, so many of your clients came to you and said, we're not so happy with what's in the market for digital cards. Can you solve these 3 or 4 issues? And so Fred and I and our engineering team worked together, and I think we've got a pretty fantastic solution, and everybody's going to have a chance to see it in just a few minutes. Anna, why don't you share your screen and we will get started on that. For all of you in the audience, we would love it to be participatory. So just interrupt Anna and Fred and I. We would love to hear your questions. So don't be shy, just interrupt away. All right, so mobile digital cards. We first thought these could be used for membership, but as Anna's going to show you here in this next slide, we started off using it for membership cards, but now an awful lot of organizations are using them for rewards. Fred, you have a client, $1 off drink. They use it in a very creative way. Just mention how they're using it.
Yeah, so they use it as a coupon. So basically, if a group is at a bar, and that bar participates in the $1 off drinks program, they can purchase their friends a coupon for $1 off a drink. Basically, they'll get a text with the membership card / coupon, and they can save that to their wallet.
That's right. That's right. So it's kind of a rewards card. It's kind of a pass or a ticket. We have other organizations that are using it for event tickets. So instead of making people print something, it's just something that's texted or emailed to them. And just like you see in the top right, that is your pass or your ticket for the event you have. And then we work with an awful lot of nonprofits, and nonprofits like the idea of giving something in return for your gift. And so they're creating not really membership cards, but recognition cards. So all these different uses that we really never even thought about when we got into this a couple of years or so ago. All right. In terms of generating these cards, they can be generated through a point of sale system. Here's one we work with called Revel, and we work with many. So your cashiers, your visitor services people are creating these accounts. We can interact with that back of the house system and automatically email or text them their card. And that is really what happens with this $1 off drink, right, Fred? It goes right through their point of sale system. So when somebody buys it, if you're a buddy of Fred's, then you would get this card and attach it in your wallet. And next thing you know, you've got a pass good for a free drink. So one way is we could integrate into systems. Integration sometimes is a real bear. I think all of you on the phone, if you're in membership, You may work with Blackbaud and some of the other providers. Sometimes it's pretty easy, and sometimes it's really hard. We'll be honest with you based on the system you're working with to let you know whether it's going to be a bear or we can make it smooth. So that's one way, is automatic integration. Another way is just basically taking an Excel list and uploading it. And Fred, you're going to show us that. It's pretty easy to do, right? It's a kind of a few second thing to do.
Yeah, exactly right.
So we'll show you that, but that's easy to do. So you can always upload a list or just create one on your own. That's the second way. And then, of course, there can be a place on your website where I could sign up for, I could buy a membership, I could sign up for an event, could even be a library card, and automatically I get an email or a text with my membership card. So many different ways to do that. In terms of receiving the card, one of the issues that we heard when we were building this is they're being sent historically by email. And Fred, you've heard from so many of our clients that they really like what we've added on this texting side. Tell us a little bit about the options for how these get into somebody's phone.
Yeah, so it's as easy as, especially when you're uploading an Excel sheet into our system to send out a card, it's as easy as having a field either for email, text message, or both.
Yeah.
But if you have that, if you have as much information from the member, it's might as well send both.
Yeah, and we've found that when cards are sent or passes are sent by email, there's a pretty good percent that gets stuck in somebody's spam blocker. And if it's sent via a text, you're just not going to get that stuck in the spam. And so we found that many of our clients seem to like the idea that they're going to send a text, and in that text is a little link that can allow that person to download that. And you can see that example here, and we'll show you that. Anna's going to have everybody text in just a second to show you that. So 2 ways to get the information over to somebody: email or text. And we prefer the text just because it's just going to get their attention and it's going to avoid the spam. The designs of the cards, Fred, you're going to show the dashboard in just a second, but talk a little bit about what Apple and Google allow people to be able to brand on the front and back of these cards.
Yeah, so you'll be able to choose a background color, of course. You'll be able to upload your organization's logo, and the fields that you want to basically are going to be the information you want to share about the member. And then also on the back of the card is where you can put links to your websites or any type of disclaimers that you want your members to know.
And can these folks on the call totally customize the front, or are there some limitations on what Apple and Google have set out?
Yeah, exactly right. So our engineers had to build on how to design the card based off of the limitations from Apple and Google. So you won't be able to upload like a background image, but you can still make it look pretty nice with a with colors that match your organization's branding.
Yeah, that's right. All right. So we work, of course, with Apple and Google Pay. Those are the 2 providers of these technologies. Fred, describe a little bit about what you're seeing here.
Yeah, so this is basically what you're able to do with the design of your card. And you'll see soon on the back end where it's going to be really easy. We have a preview where you can use as a guide to know where everything goes on the actual card.
And I see barcodes here. The client, if they use barcodes or QR codes, those can be placed on the front of the card, and that can interact with their own system, right?
Exactly right. And you can choose from 4 different types of barcodes. Like a QR code is one option. Another is like the most common, and we'll show you on the back end soon what those four options are.
Yep. This next section, I'll have Anna talk a little bit about this. The second thing that we heard from our clients is the engagement that they are getting with sending emails keeps going down a little bit. So the open rates, as we all know, maybe were 35 or 40%. We're hearing now they're down in the 20s. I'd love to know if any of you know what your open rates are. Share that in the chat window. So what we found is a lot of our clients want to use this texting now as a way to kind of bypass the folks that are just not opening up emails. And they're starting to use our texting system to not only send the card out, but to engage. And Anna, what have you seen with the clients you're working with on the different ways organizations are using texting to really engage with their audience?
Yeah, so you may have noticed earlier, and Fred will show you guys in a little bit on our back end, that there's an opportunity for a membership level, is what we call it, but really that could be any category. And when you're sending out text messages, you can actually segment lists out by, like, let's just say you have gold, silver, bronze packages. You could segment those lists to send out membership reminders, updates on renewals. If you have events coming up, which would be relevant to those different groups or to all of them together, you can send out text messages for that. If you're using it for coupons, you could send out new promotions you have going on. Just really, like we touched on earlier, it's the best way to deliver the card. And if you're already utilizing it for that, you'd really be missing out if you didn't utilize text messaging for updates and reminders and constant communication and things like that. And I think Fred may also touch on this, but a great piece of this is the fact that not only can you save the card to your wallet so it automatically gets updated anytime anything is updated in the database, but you can also deliver it as a photo. So not everyone is familiar with wallets. I wasn't familiar with wallets until probably 6 months ago. So what I would have done is just press the image of the card and saved it to my phone. And then whenever that gets updated, you just send out another text message with a new photo, which is really, really helpful to those who have an audience who's not familiar with that type of technology.
I would be interested, thanks, Anna. I'd be interested in the chat window if any of you folks that are participating today are using texting as a way to stay in touch with your visitors or your members. I'll guarantee you that once you start using text messaging, your open rates will be 85, 90%. And then just like Anna said, you can start sending an image. Maybe you've got an exhibition starting. You could send an image of the exhibition. Or the museum's logo could be in there, or like Anna said, a picture of the card. So we are big proponents of using text messaging, and I think if there's a takeaway from this webinar today, it's don't forget about the power of using texting.
Yeah, even for fun things like a happy birthday, or it's your membership anniversary. A lot of nonprofits maybe will have information like that, and they'll send out text messages accordingly.
Great. All right. We'll talk about this in a little bit, but you can segment your audience into many different lists, because you might have, gosh, Fred, I bet you have clients that have 10 or 20 different levels of membership. So as many different levels of membership that you like, they can all be scheduled out. This lower section Anna's showing us is how you can send out text messages based on certain dates, 30 days before the renewal is due, or 60 days before a big event. So all of the management is done on a dashboard that Fred will show us in just a minute or so. It's really great to use the texting for reminders on renewals, but also promotions and events. Even the development people oftentimes will sneak a text message in and ask about donations. So lots of ways to use the texting, not just for delivering the card. And lots of different reports that you can run and then download. We'll show you that in a second. And then in terms of industries, when we first came up with this, we thought it was going to be for museums and gardens and parks, but we have lots of amusement parks and attractions that are using both the texting for coupons as well as for season passes. And same thing with associations and chambers of commerce. They like to say, okay, I'm a member of this association, so here's my digital card. Colleges and universities, it could be for the student cards, or it could be for faculty, kind of like libraries. Chambers of commerce, the same kind of thing. Here's a little recognition. This is one you'd heard from Fred talk about this dollar off drink. Lots of restaurants and retailers are starting to use these digital cards because they can just so easily fit in their wallet. And it's not something they have to mail. And of course, many of you today are here because you work for some kind of a cultural venue, and that's something that you're thinking, I'm sick of spending $5 for every one I send out, and then people are losing these. Why not just get with the times and put them in the wallet? And of course, we all use digital passes now for boarding passes. Not uncommon to see it also for resorts.
Actually had a client the other day. They just utilize it for membership, and they're a nature center, and they asked about utilizing it for parking because sometimes there's paid parking in a parking garage, and I just thought that was absolutely genius.
Yeah,
to have all that information in one place.
Yep. You know, insurance cards too. I don't think that many of you are here from the benefits department, but what a great idea to have your dental card, your health card on your digital wallet. All right, so that's my contact info, but we'll send that to you. Let's move it then from Anna over to Fred. And Fred, if you want to share your screen, just take us on a little tour of the most interesting things that your clients seem to really love about this platform. So take it away, and those of you in the audience, ask questions.
Yeah, so what I think is a great thing about our platform is that our engineers have made it really easy to use. So here are just several tabs under the digital cards tab, but the first one is where you can see all of the templates that you create. So like what Anna mentioned earlier, how you might have different membership levels. So you can create a template for each level, meaning that you can have a card that has a different look and style for each level. But you can also, so to create new cards, you'll just go under this create tab. But you can see it's really just like a plug and play, basically, where you can plug in information and use a layout here to kind of guide you where you can see where information will go. So this is just, adding in your organization name. You can change your colors label, meaning like the field name, by just clicking the field, and a color editor will appear where you can play around with the colors or either enter in hex codes or color codes. So the value as well, which is the member's information, and then the background color. And here are where you can upload your images, like your logo. If we look back on the layout, you can see that there's a thumbnail image that you can have appear here. And even a better example actually is where this is actually a preview of a designed card.
Mm-hmm.
But so images, and then here are where you can add in fields. So you can see header. And if we look back to the layout, header is up here, and then our primary field or secondary field. So all you would do is add in a field by clicking this plus sign and then titling it. So full name could be a field, membership level, expiration date could be fields as well. So all it is by clicking on these plus signs to add. And they could be either, the field could either be fixed or dynamic, meaning if it's dynamic, then our system would just use what the information that's on the Excel file that you upload to fill that value in. So super easy to design. And you can see here that there are the 4 most common barcodes that are used. So QR code, PDF 417, Aztec, or code 128, which I think are probably the most common, where you can see those like on products at stores.
And Fred, how much support does your team make available to folks? Because they may look at this and say they're going to need some help. So how much do you help everybody?
As much help as they need. So once you sign up, we'll basically schedule a training, and I would go over in more detail on how to design the cards. Basically every tab that you have here, the reporting, and how you would upload an Excel and send out these cards.
And I think what I've heard from some of our clients is what they love is that with our company, you, the client, can log in and make a change, add a new card. They don't need to call you once you've trained them. I think with the other companies that are providing these services, it's not a user-friendly back end. In fact, you really have to ask an administrator to make these changes. Once you show folks how to use the tools, Fred, they are off to the races, right? That's
exactly right.
Import, send, create, change colors. They have an event this Saturday, create a pass. All that can be done on their own if they want to.
Exactly right. Yeah. So once you have access to your online dashboard, you can make changes to these at any time. So yeah. So here, maybe you want to, change the background color, 6 months from now, you can definitely do that. And then when you press apply to current passes, then it'll change in their wallet.
Fred, in the chat window, Anna mentioned a good little demo. Anna, do you want to take a second and while Fred's getting the next screen ready, tell everybody what you want them to do on their cell phone?
Yeah. So if you guys have your cell phone handy, which I'm sure we all do, you will just pull up a text message and you're going to write it to the number 56512. And the message that you're going to send is member space garden, and it's not cap sensitive, so it can be lowercase. And then press send and let us know in the chat window when you receive a message back.
I just got mine. Let's see about our audience. There it is, just came in. What you will all receive is 2 things. You're going to see a picture. There's Daphne, she got it. A picture of a card. And that's the beauty of what we've invented here that Anna was talking about. I found in my discussions that about 30% of your audience doesn't really truly understand what a digital wallet is. They're getting more familiar with it as CVS and Wayne Reed and Publix and Safeway and everybody starts giving you your cards and your boarding passes go in your wallet, but still not everybody understands it. So what we love is this idea that there can be an image that I can tap and save that to my phone's pictures, but also I can click that link and then attach that right inside my wallet. So we're covering both bases here. Great. Molly got it. Daphne got it. Many of you others got it. Okay, great. Back to you, Fred.
Awesome. Yeah. So now we can take a look at how we're able to upload an Excel file and send out the card. So how you would create the Excel file or format the Excel file is basically having the columns be the information you are wanting to show for the member. So just like how we, created all of the labels. So all of the fields that you turn on, so membership level, expiration date, full name, you want to just create that on the Excel file. So here under contacts is where you would be able to upload the Excel file and where you can send out the cards. So just as an example, this is one of our customers' accounts. So every upload that you do, it'll be recorded and we can go back to that specific file. So you can see here, basically this looks kind of like an Excel file when you look at it. So there's the name, so you would also have to include on the Excel file the way you want to send out the cards. So email, or you can see cell phone here. But what you want is, so this is a field that they wanted to share on the card, valid for expiration date. And then of course, you're always going to have a barcode number because it's kind of the identifier for your member.
And Fred, talk just a little bit about email, because we've been really promoting texting. But if you decide you don't want to use texting as a vehicle to send these, email is another option. We can still send all these out by email.
Yes, exactly right. And again, it's just basically, adding that field on the Excel file. So you could definitely do email or cell phone or both if you really want to make sure that people are going to get these cards.
Yeah, great.
So once you upload, then you can see here, generate pass files. And then this is where you would be able to choose from one of your templates, right? So again, you can have different designs for different templates, or if you want to make it as simple as possible, you can have one template, but add the membership level field as a field.
Great.
So you can choose a template. And then here you could see, you could either load preload messages so that you're not having to edit the messages every time you send out. But otherwise, you can choose down here how you want to send the card. So either by email or text message, or both.
Nice.
So this is where you'll be able to craft that message. And then all you have to do is basically add in this placeholder and put it into the message, because each person will get a unique URL which represents their pass or membership card. And easy as that.
Easy as that. Fred, we have a question from the folks in Sacramento about interfacing with existing membership management programs. And I think what we would do is we can definitely integrate, because we have open APIs. As I mentioned when we first started the webinar, a few systems that we have tried to integrate into are very clunky and are not very user friendly, so it's been a challenge. Others are a snap. So I think we should just chat with you maybe offline, find out what system you're using. We'll go see if we've interfaced with it in the past. And if not, we'll see how challenging it will be, if it will be at all. Worst case, you can do what many of our clients do. And the folks in Pennsylvania, Fred, they download once a week, once every few days, their new members, and they just push it through our system. So if in fact the integration is just really going to be a nightmare, then the download of the data and putting it in our system can be done in a minute or two. So it's not really a big deal, but interfacing with an existing system would be great. All right, Fred, what else, if anything?
There's reporting, right? You want to see if people are getting these cards and if they're installing them. So here under the cards general is more like a general statistics report. You could choose a specific template or all. You can enter in a specific time period, but this is where you'll be able to see, how many total cards were sent, installed on an iPhone or Android, and if any failed. If you want to get more specific with each member, you can go under this cards tab to see, what specific members, which is their membership information, if they received or installed here as well.
Yeah, we keep data on everything. Every time you want to send out a message about a renewal or an event, all of that stuff we keep forever. So it's in our cloud-based reports. And if a client wanted to just send out one at a time, Fred, that's easy to do too, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if you've sent out a card already, you want to update, let's say, their name was spelled incorrectly, you can literally go under this cards tab, and here you can just click update and update their name. And then once you hit submit, it resends the card.
It's great. And then they click it, goes right in their wallet, it's done, and replaces the card that they've got in there.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we're getting near the end of our time. Anything else that you wanted to review, Fred or Anna? Anything we've missed?
I think that we did get a question about Altru. I do know that it's possible to integrate. I think we're just waiting on a client. Is that right, Fred?
Yeah, I think we're in the finishing touches with
Right.
getting the integration with Altru coded.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think we've finished our part of it, and now we just need to do a little testing with some live data, and then that'll be ready to go. So if you are an Altru user, we would love to work with you so that we could get that going. What do all of you think about this? Would love to see in the chat window. What features do you like? Is there anything that's missing? Anything that you have seen here that you haven't seen elsewhere? There's a question here from Allison about Salesforce. Once again, Salesforce has an open API, so we'll just have to see what fields you would want pulled in, and let's just chat about it. As I said, our system is very open. Sometimes larger companies protect certain fields. So you might think, oh, Salesforce has an open API, but it might be really tough to get certain fields that you're using. So that's why we just always get our engineers on the phone. Molly's asking about the cost for this service. If you're not sending out many cards and you're sending them out via email, it's something like $300 a month, plus or minus, maybe a little setup fee based on how much engineering we've got to do. And if it's more card, the price goes up. We don't charge based on per card. We don't really like that model very well, because it just is kind of annoying. You're very successful, and now you have to pay us $5,000 or $10,000 to send out 5,000 cards. And so we come up with a fixed price based on the complexity and how many features you want. But for some of our clients, it's $300, $400 a month. Good question. Thank you, Molly. How quickly can we implement the service? And to talk about, as a project person here, what's kind of the steps to get this thing going?
It's really, I mean, as soon as we come to an agreement, we can get that account set up in a day. And then it's what time's open on Fred's schedule to get you trained. So it can be a matter of hours if that's what's necessary.
Yeah, it can be fast. We've had clients that'll have an event on a Saturday and they want a membership card or a pass for that event. And you saw Fred designing these cards on the back end. So designing of the actual card, that's a piece of cake. Uploading your Excel or CSV file, that's a piece of cake. Doing an integration can be harder. But in terms of let's just get started, if you wanted something by Monday, that's probably very doable. I also think, and I think if that came, Allison mentioned, this is a fantastic modern way to interact with members. So many of our clients that have gone this route will call Fred and Anna and I afterwards and say, oh my gosh, I don't know why I waited on this. Because members, they like getting a text message to remind them of their car appointment or their dental or their vision or their spa or whatever it happens to be. And when they can get their card and it stays in their wallet and they don't have to carry it around, it is a modern way to communicate, but it's just not only modern, it's just really a much more efficient and I think better priced way to do it than having a membership person mailing it out, printing it, putting a stamp on it. It got lost. My wife needs a card. All of that can be done now electronically.
It's almost expected. I know if I'm signing up for something or booking something and I don't get a text, I'm like, oh, it must not have gone through. So
Yeah, that's right.
Direction things are going in.
If any of you would like more info or to do a quick little demo, Anna will put contact info in the chat window. We'll also send it all out to you tomorrow. And we love doing demos for your teams and just brainstorming about the cost and the integration. And the three of us will join on your demo. So if this looks like something that you're interested in, then we should chat. And Anna's put, there we go. There's Anna's contact. That's super. If no other questions, then we'll let everybody get back to what they're doing, and we'll send out more information tomorrow. But thanks for joining, and thank you, Fred and Anna, for helping out.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
All right.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.